Welcome to the next day of Mission Yeshas. I hope you have already completed the entire Partnership Act. Those who have done it as per the target have done it. Those who couldn't complete as per the target before you've come here, you've already completed. You have also completed the target for the day. Okay, so what was the target for the day? So today's target and if you're not sure about what is the target and where to find out the target, you can see the link in the description box and also in the pinned comment. You'll find the link to the document where the target is given. Please go there and check it so that you finish the targets if you have not done it yet. And make sure you do it for the next 50 days also. So your target for today was Companies Act. Obviously, not the entire Companies Act. Today's target was we do the essential characteristics of Companies Act, as well as we cover the types of companies. So that was your target. In today's session, as we are going to discuss the questions related to this, generally we will see that whenever it comes to questions, we do questions on holding company, subsidiary, associate, small company. But there are some, you know, uh, questions that we have not done, like government company not written, dormant company not written. So today in this session, I've opted for these questions, which are a little out of the way, and I have decided to solve those questions today. So starting with today's session. So the first question in Companies Act. By the way, did you finish today's target? If you did, comment Companies Act in the comment section below. If you have not, but you plan to complete it before you go to sleep today, I again want to see you commenting that Companies Act. If you have practiced questions for Partnership and Companies Act, that thumbs up should be there. Please subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out any session and you don't have to wait for us to drop a message that we have uploaded the session. So, as we see you every day at 8, continuing with this, today's question. Prashad incorporated an OPC to run his new startup in May 2021. OPC borrowed 50 lakh to meet its long-term fund requirements and 25 lakhs to meet its working capital requirement on the basis of his project from a non-banking finance company. But due to some business hardships and new government policies, OPC was failed to pay. OPC has failed to pay its debts to NBFC. Assets of the company were insufficient to pay the outstanding debts. According to the provisions of the Companies Act, decide whether Prashad would be liable to pay the outstanding debts if NBFC proceeded against the personal assets. Okay, personal assets, as far as personal assets is concerned, we know the liability is limited. Correct or not? That is the whole point which distinguishes an OPC from a sole proprietorship. The liability is limited. So, if the liability is limited, how can I proceed against the member, his property? So, will they succeed? No. If NBFC proves that the OPC was formed for fraud and cheating, if it proves that it was formed for fraud and cheating, then there would be a what? Lifting of corporate veil. Correct or not? Yes. So, today I'm going to show you about how to answer the question and what people would actually, what they will do is they will just talk about limited liability in one line. The liability of a member is limited. But before you talk about limited liability, why we get the concept of limited liability? Because of separate legal entity. So you should write that also. So here I'm going to approach the question and write it in a little different manner than what we have written earlier in partnership. So you can also stick to this way of writing. As per the provisions will be there, but I'll show you how. So as per the provisions of Companies Act 2013, right? And OPC means a company with only one member, right? A company with only one member. OPC means a company which has only one member. Okay? Now, a company is an artificial person and has an existence separate from its members. When a company is incorporated, it is clothed with a legal personality and it is different from its members. You don't want to write so much, it's okay. But you should mention a separate legal entity concept because that is how we get the concept of limited liability. So that mention is important. Fine. Now moving forward, the question is about limited liability. So that I have to write. So in case of a company, the liability of the member is limited to the unpaid value of shares held by them. The member shall not have any personal liability. When the shares are fully paid up, the liability of the member is over, right? Then this is it. If you want to add, you can add in case of an OPC also the liability of a member is limited. But anyway, we have written it's a company. So therefore, one, the NBFC will not succeed in filing. And one more thing, this separate legal entity I have written also because of this lifting of corporate wheel, because this is an extension of the separate legal entity ka extension is lifting of corporate wheel. So I need to write about separate legal entity because I'm writing about the lifting of the corporate wheel. Okay? So the NBFC will not succeed in filing a case against the personal assets of the member of OPC as the liability is limited, right? As the liability is limited. Then second, now I could have written about corporate wheel here or I could have written 1 and 2 and written separate, but this time I decided I'll not write it like this. Now, second one where, so I'm just giving the provision because it's an extension. So I'm just giving the provision here where, because this part is common, no? This part is common here. So instead of writing it separately again, I'll just write like this. Where the company has been incorporated for fraud and cheating with an intent to defraud the creditors or for any fraudulent purpose, the court may lift the corporate wheel. In such a case, the member becomes personally liable for the acts of the company. or for the, because here specifically debts, for the debts of the company. Therefore, if the NBFC proves that the company was formed for fraud and cheating, the NBFC can hold the court may withdraw the will, and the member shall be personally liable to repay the loan of the NBFC. So NBFC will succeed, right? So this was the question which was there in the Jan attempt. I have taken this question in case any one of you who are watching had not cleared the exam. You will understand what mistake you actually made in the exam in this question that would have not given you the marks that you thought you. So now moving on to the next question. So we have always done questions on holding, subsidiary and all that. So that is why this time I did not pick up those questions. But I want you to practice writing those questions, whatever. The paid up capital of Ram Private Limited is 10 crores in the form of 7 lakh equity shares of rupees 100 each and 3 lakh preference shares of rupees 100 each. Lakhan Private Limited is holding 3 lakh equity shares and 3 lakh preference shares in Ram Private Limited. State with reasons whether Ram Private Limited is a subsidiary. Again, it's a subsidiary ka question. There are a lot of tricky questions also. I did not opt for those questions because we have done all of them in the class. So this time, as I told you, I opted for the little other type of questions. So how am I supposed to write? We know we are supposed to write the definition of subsidiary. We can also write the definition of holding also. We can stick to the definition of subsidiary only also. But I'll just, because I'm showing you how to write, I'll stick to the entire thing. So, just one second. As per section 2, ma'am, you told us we don't have to remember the sections. It's absolutely okay. You don't have to, because I remember I'm writing it. That's it. 46 of the Companies Act 2013. A company is said to be the holding of one or more other companies if such one or more other companies are its subsidiary. I am targeting you will at least solve 4 questions for Companies Act. I feel no Companies Act ka types of company ka questions are the easiest of all to answer. I love them because they're the easiest of all. Sometimes they become a little tricky to solve, maybe, but they are still the easiest of all. And the provisions is simple, straight away write the definition, nothing else to write. So I love Companies Act. And I'm pretty sure if you have written 3 questions for partnership, you'll write 4 questions only for types of companies. So do let me know how many questions you have written in Companies Act. So you'll write Companies Act and the number of questions that you have written. Are its subsidiary. As per one more thing, guys. I hope, okay, whenever you are studying, you're writing the keywords somewhere so that the next time you sit to study, you just have to refer to the keywords. That is when you're revising, you refer to the keywords only, and you don't go through the whole thing reading again and again, because just before the day before the exam, you will not have that much of time, no? So the keywords, when you're writing, just write the keywords, just mark the keywords that should be there in your answer. As per section 2 clause 87, a company is said to be the subsidiary of another if the holding number one controls the composition of the board of directors, holds more than one half of the total voting power on its own or together with one or more of its subsidiary. Okay? Provided it should not go beyond the layer specified. Okay? Here, if the question had something to do with board of directors, I would have also written the explanation. The term controls the composition means, but because it is not there, I'll not write it. Okay? Preference shares shall be included in the voting power if they carry voting rights. So, if the question would have said that the preference shares carry voting right, then it would be included. But nothing is given, so not included. So, here we will not include it. So, this is it. With this, we are done with the provision. Therefore, see here, the total share capital is 7 lakh equity shares, 3 lakh preference shares, of which 3 lakh equity shares, it's less than half. So, it's not a holding company. Therefore, I mean, subsidiary. Please see, the question is asked, is it subsidiary? So please try to answer like that. Therefore, Ram Private Limited is not a subsidiary of Lakhan. I don't know, it's private limited or limited, whatever. Private limited, as the total holding is 3 lakh out of 7 lakh, which is less than half. Clear? Conclusion, you can mold it as per your, what you feel is right. Provisions, you can write it in your words, but technical words like voting power, that's a technical word. Controls a composition, that's a technical word. Moving on to the next question. Narendra Motors Limited is a government company. Shah Auto Private Limited is a private company having a share capital of 10 crores in the form of 10 lakh shares of 100 each. Narendra Motors is holding 5. Okay, Shah Auto Private Limited has 10 lakh shares, of which 5 lakh 5,000 are held by Narendra Motor. So that means Shah Auto Private Limited is a subsidiary of a government company, correct? And subsidiary of a government company is a government company. So whether Shah Auto Private Limited is a government company, yes. Here, obviously, I have to write the definition of government company, but I also have to write the definition of subsidiary because that is how I will give the conclusion that it's a subsidiary, right? So, two things will come here. So, starting with it, first I'll write about the definition of government. Of the Companies Act 2013. A government company means a company in which not less than 51% of the total paid up share capital is held by central government or one or more state government or partly by central and partly by one or more state government. ठीक है? Then provided that subsidiary of a government company is a government company. I am writing short forms, but exam may please don't try and write full. Then as per section 2 clause 87, a company is said to be the subsidiary of another if the holding company holds more than one half of the total voting power either on its own or together with one or more of its subsidiary. Okay? This is it. With this, we are done with the provision. Therefore, Shah Auto Private Limited is a subsidiary of Narendra Motors, a government company. So, Shah Auto Private Limited is also a government company, right? So, we are done with this. Moving on to the next and the last question for this session. XYZ Limited incorporated to hold the patent for a new product. The company is expecting to start its commercial production within the next 2 years. To start its commercial, that means it's a dormant company. In the meantime, for timely installation, the company has placed the purchase order for plant and machinery with a down payment of 1 crore. Can it get the status? Now, see, there are two things here. People will think, yes, it is a dormant company. Why? Because it's going to start a production and it is formed to hold a patent. Okay. The problem here is that after incorporation, they have given a purchase order for plant and machinery. Now, see, two things can happen here. If this company was incorporated for the purpose of holding the machine, it would have been a dormant company. But the company was not incorporated for the purpose of holding the machine. The purpose of incorporating the company was to hold a patent and then they purchased this machine. So it's a significant accounting transaction. So can it get the status of a dormant company? No. So as per section 455, dormant company is defined under 455 as per the provisions of Companies Act 2013. A dormant company is a company which has been incorporated for a future project or to hold any assets, including any intellectual property, and does not have any significant accounting transaction. I have to write the definition of significant accounting transaction because on that grounds only I will say that this is significant. So that's important. Okay. Significant accounting transaction means any transaction other than, ठीक है? First, payment of fees to the registrar first. Second, payment to fulfill the requirement of this or any other act. Third, allotment of shares to fulfill the requirement of the act. And the last one, maintenance of office and records, right? So, therefore, what is the name of the company? XYZ Limited cannot get the status of a dormant company as it has made a significant accounting transaction by purchasing the plant. Hey, it was plant only, no? By purchasing the plant and machinery. So, look, with this, we are done for today's session also. I hope your studies are going well. And I hope you're finishing your targets. If you are, you know what you're supposed to do. Comment Companies Act in the comment section below. Don't go now because you have the next session with Chethan sir for QA. And till then, keep learning, keep studying, be happy, be motivated, and Yashasvi Bhav.
Hello everyone, I welcome you all to day 4 of Quantitative Aptitude Mission Yeshas. The target that I had given you for day 4 was simple interest and compound interest in the chapter number 4, that is mathematics of finance. So I hope you have revised all the concepts and all the shortcuts that I have given in the marathon videos. If not, please do watch the marathon videos and come back to watch this. All right, so let us just quickly see what is there in simple interest and compound interest. Simple interest, the formula SI is PTR by 100 or PTR percentage. What is P? The P is principal, R is rate of interest, and T is time, especially in years. And amount is P plus SI. Since I have given all shortcuts in the marathon, I hope you have already revised. So let's quickly go to the compound interest. So before going to the compound interest, remember nominal rate of interest is inflation rate plus a real rate of return. Nominal rate of interest has got two parts. One is inflation rate, the other one is a real rate of return. Then the compound interest concept, guys, compound interest, the difference between CI and SI is what? In SI, the principal remains the same for any number of years that you invest your money for, but in compound interest, the principal keeps changing, right? So the change of principal is only called as what? Compounding. The principal can change once in a year. If so, it is annual compounding. The principal can change twice in a year. If so, it is semi-annual or off-yearly. The principal can change 4 times in a year. If so, it is called as quarterly compounding. If the principal changes 12 times in a year, it is monthly compounding. So all that you should know in CI formula, the concept is CI formula, P into 1 plus I whole power n minus 1, right? And always when you do calculation, the I has to be typed as a percentage. So let's say I is 5%. So type 1 plus 5 plus a percentage, that will fetch you the value of 1 plus I. So keep this in mind. All right. And then what is P here? Principal. I is the interest rate, not the decimal value, keep it in percentage only. N is the number of compoundings or number of conversion periods. Guys, amount formula, A is equal to P into 1 plus I whole power n. One shortcut over here. When an investment is increasing by k%, when the overall investment is increased by k% at an annual rate of I% per annum, then you can always use this shortcut. 1 plus k% is equal to 1 plus I% whole power n. So this will give you the answer quickly. Just remember, when the overall increase in the investment is by k% at an annual rate of I%, then you can always make use of this one liner. Then types of compoundings and the conversions. So annual compounding, n will be same as number of years. There's no change whatsoever. I is same as interest rate per annum given in the question. For semi-annual compounding, P changes twice in a year. So n will be 2 into number of years. I will be interest rate per annum divided by 2. For quarterly, P changes 4 times in a year. Therefore, n is equal to 4 into number of years. I will be interest rate per annum divided by 4. For monthly, P changes 12 times in a year. So n is equal to 12 into number of years. I will be interest rate per annum divided by 12. And the various shortcuts I've already given in the marathon. I hope you have revised and come, right? So let's now move on to the next concept, that is effective rate of interest. So effective rate of interest, if you know CI formula, that's more than sufficient. Just exclude P from it. That is what is ERI into 100. So ERI is SI equivalent for the given CI rate. Please remember, ERI is the SI equivalent for the given CI rate. It is always computed for what? 1 year, because you need to compare that what? ERI with the nominal rate of interest. Nominal rate of interest is always given in terms of per annum. And remember, ERI is equal to NRI for annual compounding, but ERI is greater than NRI for quarterly, monthly, or semi-annual compounding. And remember, ERI is independent of principal. There's no P. It is clearly evident in the formula. All right. Then we have a depreciation. Depreciation, an asset whose value keeps decreasing with time is said to be what? Depreciating asset. For example, furniture, building, electronic gadgets, and so on. If you know appreciation formula, depreciation formula should be easy. Just that plus 1 plus I becomes 1 minus I. Rest of the things are same. And remember, in depreciation formula, A is called as a scrap value, P is called as a cost price, and N is the life of a depreciating asset. And other shortcuts I've already given. And remember this difference between CI and SI. Whenever they give you difference between CI and SI, you can use this conventional formula is for more than 3 years. If it is for 2 years difference, you can use this shortcut to find principal. If it is 3-year difference, you can use this shortcut to find the principal. If it is more than 3 years, use this. P outside 1 plus I whole power n minus 1 minus TR percent. After 1 plus I whole power n minus 1 plus m plus. After T into R percent plus m minus, then MRC. Then transpose it to the other side by pressing divide equal into the difference. You get a P value, principal value. So these are the concepts. Let us now start solving the questions on simple interest and compound interest. Let's look at the first question. The rate of simple interest on a sum of money is 6% per annum for the first 3 years, 8% per annum for the next 5 years, and 10% per annum for the period beyond 8 years. You can clearly see that the rate of interest are different for different durations. So total SI formula will be, but the principle is the same. They haven't said half of the sum is invested in certain scheme and 1/3 is another scheme. Nothing like that. So principle is same. So just that T outside T1 R1% plus T2 R2% and T3 are 3%. So that means there are only 3 rate of interest mentioned. So I've taken only 3 terms within the brackets. Have you all understood? Now total SI they have given of how much it is? 1560, and total investment period is how many years? 10 years. So they're asking us to find the value of P. Now everybody, this T1 R1%. T1 is how many years? 3 years. So 3 into R1 is 6. Press a percentage m plus to store it. All right. T2 R2%. T2 is how many years? 5 years. Into R2 is how much percent? 8%. 8 into 8, press a percentage, then m plus to store it. Then period beyond 8 years. See, first duration is 3 years, next duration is 5 years, 3 plus 5 is 8 years. Period beyond 8 years means obviously how many years? Total investment period is 10 years, means period beyond 8 years means only 2 years. So type 2 into. Please don't misunderstand this as T3 is 8 years. Period beyond 8 years means how many years remaining? That is what is T3. Remaining years is 2. So 2 into rate of interest for the third duration is 10%. M plus MRC. Now transpose that to the other side. How do I do it? Divide equal. After transposing, multiply 1/5. 1.60. That will fetch me the value of P. What is P value? It's 1999.999, which is 2000. So option B is the answer. Guys, first of all, you solve everything. And remember, beyond 8 years means only 2-year duration. After solving this, then you transpose it to the other side. How do you transpose them to the other side? Divide equal and then multiply with the total SI given 1560. Right? The sum of money doubles itself in 10 years. The number of years it would triple itself is. Guys, when they don't specify anything, it is as per SI by default. By default, it is as per SI. So double is one amount, triple is another amount. When two amounts in terms of principal is given, what's the shortcut to find T2? It is A2 minus 1 divided by A1 minus 1 into T1. This is as per SI when two amounts in terms of principal. What do you mean by amount in terms of principal? Double, triple, 4 times, 5 times. That is what is amount in terms of principal. There are clearly two amounts in terms of principal. One is double, the other one is triple. So this is my T1. I need to find T2. A2, triple means 3. 3 minus 1 is how much? 2 divided by A1, double means 2. 2 minus 1 is 1 into T1 is 10. That fetches me the answer is 20. Guys, A2 is triple, that means 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. A1 is double, that means 2. 2 minus 1 is 1 into T1 is 10, which is 20 years. Have you all understood? Question number 3. A certain sum of money amounts to 6,300 in 2 years and 7,875 in 3 years. Guys, whenever they give you two amounts in terms of rupees as per SI, the shortcut that you have to find principal. What is the shortcut? A2 minus A1 by T2 minus T1 into T1 minus A1 under modulus. You'll get negative, you have to take it as positive. But it's not just the principal they're asking. They have not asked the principal, they've asked to find the rate of interest. Guys, I have given you the shortcut. Whenever rate of interest is asked, after A2 minus A1 by T2 minus T1, store it by pressing M plus. Then finally, if you're asked to find R, it is whatever you stored, press MRC to recall, divided by whatever principal you get, press a percentage, right? This is a shortcut I had given you for two amounts given in terms of rupees. It's a type 5. I think I have named it as type 5 in the marathon video, right? So if you don't remember the number of the type, so at least remember two amounts in terms of rupees. So this is what the shortcut. A2 minus A1, guys. A2 is 78575. A1 is 6,300. So 7,875 minus 6,300 divided by T2 minus T1. T2 is 9. Okay. Once again, 3 years, 9 months. What is 3 years, 9 months? 3.75, correct? If you don't know, 9 by 12 plus 3 you have to do. So 3.75 minus, sorry, one second. T2 is actually 3.75. How do you get 9 divided by 12 plus 3, which is 3.75, and T1 is 2. So 3.75 minus 2 is 1.75. Now do the calculation all over again. A2 minus A1. 7,875 minus 6,000. 7,875 minus 6,300 divided by T2 minus T1. Difference is how much? 1.75. Now store this value by pressing what? M plus. Done. Into T1. What is T1? T1 is 2. First time duration is T1 minus A1. What is A1? A1 is 6,300. That fetches me negative 4,500, but I will take it as only 4,500. Now, to find the R value, I have to press MRC. If you press MRC, 900 will appear. That's the value we have stored. Divided by what is P we have got? 4,500. Press a percentage. So you get 20%. Option A is the right answer. Moving on to the next question. Question number 4. A person borrows 5,000 for 2 years at 4% per annum simple interest. He immediately lends it to another person at 1 by 4%. That means 6.25%. How do you compute this? First of all, 1 divided by 4 plus 6.25%. Find the gain in his transaction. Guys, what is the gain? He borrows the money at 4%, lends the money at 6.25. The difference in the interest is 6.25 minus 4. 2.25% is the difference. So compute the interest for this difference in rate of interest. That is what is the gain. So gain is PTR percentage only, but P is how much? 5,000. Time is how many years? 2 years. Rate of interest we need not take separately. Take the rate of interest for the difference only, which is 2.25%. So it's 5,000 into 2 into 2.25%. That fetches me how much? 225. But the question, you see, find the gain in the transaction per year. This is for how many years? 2 years, right? If I want it for per year, I have to divide it by what? 2. So per year, it's gonna be 112.5. Option A is the right answer. Is moving on to the next question. In how much time, sorry, would the simple interest on a certain sum becomes 0.125 times of itself? Guys, they have said SI becomes 0.125 times of itself. That means the principal. See guys, whenever SI in terms of principal is given, always take the principal as how much? 100. So 0.125 into 100, which is 12.5. So this is clearly the total SI. Guys, they're asking us to find the time and they've already given the rate of interest. So time is basically total SI divided by R. Total SI rate divided by R. So SI 12.5, it's a percentage value because P we take it as 100%. So even R is also percentage value. All that we should do is 12.5 divided by R value is 10. No need to press a percentage because percentage will get cancelled. You get the answer 1.25. That means 1 by 4 years. First of all, type this 1 by 4 in the calculator plus 1, that fetches you 1.25. So total SI is given off. So 1.125 times of principal. So principal is taken as 100%. So 12.5% is total SI. Rate of interest is 10%. Both are percentages only. So 12.5 divided by 10 we have to do. So 1.25 years. Moving on to the next question, find the number of years in which the sum doubles itself. So they have given, is it the SI or is it the amount? The amount is given 2 times principal. So here only one amount. So it is P to be taken as 100%. So 200%. So when the amount is 200%, total SI will be, it's similar to the fifth question, but in the fifth question they have given total SI straight away. But in this question they have given of amount. If I'm given with the amount in terms of principal, how do I find the total SI? Total SI is always 100% less than the amount. 200 minus 100 is 100%. Have you understood? Suppose the amount had been 3 times the principal, it would have been 300%. So total SI would have been 100%. The time they are asking, it's total SI divided by R. Total SI is 100, R is 8%. So I should not press a percentage because SI is also percentage value. So it becomes 12.5 years. That means 12 1 by 2 years. 12 1 by 2 years. Moving on to the next question, a time by which a sum of money becomes 8 times of itself. Sorry, a time by which a sum of money is 8 times of itself if doubled itself in 15 years. Guys, this is as per CI. That there's a missing information actually. It should be as per CI. Guys, when the two amounts are given in terms of what? Principal as per CI, to find out the time for the second case, it is power of prime number, power of prime number in second amount, that means the larger amount, divided by power of prime number in A1 into N1. Guys, always remember A2 is the larger amount, A1 is the smaller amount. All right. Which one is the larger amount here? 8 times is a larger amount, double 2 times is a smaller amount. So 2 is A1 and 8 is A2. All right. Now, is 2 a prime number? Yes. So there is no power for it, means it's 1. Is 8 a prime number? No. So how do I write in terms of a prime number? 2 power 3. So what am I looking for? Power of a prime number in the second amount. It is 3. Power of prime number in the first amount. It is 1 into N1. Now, number of years taken for the first amount is 15. The answer is 45 years. Option C is the right answer. Guys, it's not always the first amount is only A1. The smaller amount is A1, the bigger amount is A2. Have you understood? Moving on to the next question. This is similar to what we have already done. Question number 8 and question number, let me just tell you, question number 3 are the same questions. You can apply the shortcut to solve the question number 8. Question number 9, the simple interest on a sum of money at 6% per annum for 7 years is equal to, see, SI1. This is SI1 is equal to twice, that means 2 into simple interest on another sum, that means SI2. All right. So there are two SIs. First SI is 2 times the second SI. So what is first SI? So have they given the principal, the ratio of principals, ratio of principals. That means P1 is to P2 is asked. So first principal is P1 into time for the first case is 7 into rate of interest is 6%. 2 times second principal is P2, time for the second one is 9 years, and the rate of interest is 5%. Ultimately, what are we asked to find? We are asked to find P1 by P2. So take everything else on the other side. Is first of all, I would simplify this 7 into 6%. Now I would transpose it to the other side. Divide equal, right? Into 2 into 9 into 5 press what? Percentage. That fetches me 2.1428. So P1 by P2 or P1 is to P2 is 2.1428. Which option gives you 2.1428? It is option C. If you want, you can just check 15 divided by 7 gives you the same value. Have you all understood? As the next question, by mistake, a clerk calculated the simple interest on a principal and for 5 months at 6.5% instead of 6 months at 5.5%. That means there's a difference between two SIs and the calculation error is 25.4. That means SI1 minus SI2 is equal to 25.4. As I'll just write this symbol to say that whichever is greater minus whichever is smaller. All right. Now, they've said that the principal is what? Same. They haven't said it is another sum, right? It's the same sum. So principal is definitely same. So P1, I mean T1 R1% minus T2 R2 percent is equal to 25.4. Now we need to find P value only. First of all, T1 R1%. T1 is 5 months. How do I convert this into years? 5 divided by 12 into R1 6.5 percentage. How do I store this? M plus T2 R2%. T2 is 6 months. So 6 divided by 12 into R2 is 5.5 percentage. All right. M minus MRC. You get a negative value. You have to take it as positive only because principal cannot be negative. So how do I make it positive? By pressing plus or minus. Now transpose it to the other side, divide equal, and then multiply that with 25.4. And the result is 60,959.99. That means 60,960. So option A is the right answer. As now let's move on to question number, the questions on, what is it? Yeah, compound interest. Look at the question. 1,000 be invested at the interest rate of 5% and the interest be added to the principal every 10 years. Interest is added to the principal every 10 years. That means before 10 years, the principal is not going to change. What is the principal to start up with? 1,000. This is at the end of 10th year, right? So within 10th year, the principal is not going to change. That means the calculation is as per SI, correct? What is it? PTR percentage. P is 1,000 into time is 10 years into rate of interest is 5%. So how much is the interest for first year? It's 500. So what do you get at the end of 10th year? It is 1,500 because 1,000 plus 500 is 1,500. This becomes the principal for the at the end of 10th year because they said the interest is added to the principal every 10 years. So compounding will happen once in 10 years it is, right? Now, they're saying that the amount is 2,000. For getting this amount of 2,000, how many years it's going to take? Definitely it cannot be 1 by 10 years because 10 years itself it is becoming 1,500. Definitely it cannot be what? 6 2 by 3 years. 6 2 by 3 years means 2 by 3 is 0.666 plus 6, 6.66 years. So definitely it's not possible. So is it possible in 16 years? Let's compute. 16 years means another 6 years, correct? Another 6 years. Another 6 years, I have to find out SI because it's 1,500, principal is 1,500 for the next duration. That means next 10 years, and time is 6 years, and rate of interest is 5% only. So 1,500 into 6 into 5%, that fetches me 450. Now you see, at the end of 16th year, 1,500 is the old principal plus what gets added, to get the amount, 1,500 plus 450 is 1,950. So in 16 years, exactly, it's not becoming what? 1,950. So it is 16 2 by 3 years. If you want, you can just check 16 2 by 3 years. That means 6 2 by 3 years, correct? Into 5%. So how do I first of all simplify this? Type 2 by 3 plus 6. That is time into 5% into 1,500. That fetches me 499.99. That means 500 rupees as the interest at the end of 16 2 by 3 years. 1500 plus 500 gives me amount of 2000 rupees. That means option A is the right answer. Guys, moving on to the next question. The annual birth and death rate per thousand are 39.4 and 19.4 respectively. The number of years in which the population will be doubled. See, population doubled means A is equal to what? 2p. And you have to population problem, you have to use what? Appreciation formula only. P into 1 plus I whole power n. PP cancel on both the side. So first of all, tell me what is I. I is the growth rate, which is birth rate minus death rate. Correct? That is what is the growth rate. Out of how much? It's not out of 100, it's out of 1000. So it's 39.4 minus 19.4 divided by 1000. That fetches me how much? 0.02. So I value, I got 0.02. It's not a percentage value, it's a decimal value. So 0.02 plus 1 is 1.02. Type 1.02 in the calculator. Now all you need to do is press into, keep on pressing equal until you get 2. Until you get 2. So first option is 35 years. That means the counter number should be 36. Correct? Counter number should be 36. So for 36 counter number, it's 1.999. That means approximately 2. So 35 years is the right answer. So if you feel that pressing 35, it's difficult for you, you can split this 35 as 7 into 5. All right. That means 1.02 press into, for 7 equal to 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Press into again for power 5 equal to 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that fetches you 1.999. That means 2 only. So option A itself is the right answer. Moving on to the next question, the effective rate equivalent to 6% per annum compound and monthly. What is percentage ERI, guys? Percentage ERI is 1 plus I whole power n minus 1 into 100. Correct? It's a monthly compounding. So for monthly compounding, 6 by 12%, it is 0.5%. I value is 0.5%. And n will be 12 into number of years. Number of years is taken as 1. So, but 12 can be written as 4 into 3 or 3 into 4. For the sake of simplicity, we'll just write it this way. Now, first of all, 1 plus I. 1 plus I value is not 6%, 0.5. Press a percentage. Now press into, you have to raise the power to 12. That means first of all raise the power to 4. That means 1, 2, 3 times equal. Again press into, for power 3 equal to 2 times. 1, 2. Then 2 minus 1, minus 1. Then into 100. That fetches you 6.16%. Option B is the right answer. Have you understood? Question number 33, a person deposited 5,000 in a bank. 5,000 in a bank means principal is 5,000. Deposit was left to accumulate at 6% per annum compounded quarterly. For the first 5 years, 5 years means N1. Since it's a quarterly compounding, it is 4 into number of years, 4 into 5. And rate of interest for quarterly compounding, 6 divided by 4 becomes 1.5. 6 by 4 is 1.5%. This is my I1. Now, there's one more investment that is rate of interest, that is 8%. Semi-annually means I2 becomes 4% because half of 8%, and N2 becomes, it is 8 years, so 2 into 8, because half yearly it is, so 2 into 8 is the N2. Now they are asking us to find compound amount, not interest. So amount is P into 1 plus I1 whole power N1 into 1 plus I2 whole power N2. Guys, since there are powers involved, we solve this first. Press M plus, solve this next. After that, you have to multiply that with whatever we have stored by pressing MRC, then press into and type P. First of all, 1 plus I1. 1 plus 1.5 percentage, press into. For N1, it is 4 into 5, right? So first raise the power to 4. That means 1, 2, 3 times. Into, next 5 means 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. Then store this by pressing M plus. All right. Next 1 plus I2. So 1 plus 4%. Done. 1 plus 4%. Press into. Now 2 into 8. So for first of all power 2 equal to 1s. Into, for power 8 equal to 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Done. Into, I mean this value we have obtained, multiply this value with, press into whatever we have stored. Where is that value? Memory. So press memory into What is P? 5000. That fetches you the value 12,613.17. So option B is the nearest answer. Have you all understood? 34th question. Anshul's father wishes to have 75,000 in a bank account when his first college expenses begin. That means 75,000 is not a present value. It's in the future he wants. So it is nothing but A. Future value is always A. Present value is always B. How much amount his father should deposit now? Is it a one-time deposit or a repeated deposit? It's a one-time deposit. So it is appreciation only. That means they're asking us to find P value. I value is 6.5%. Now A is equal to P into 1 plus I whole power n. The unknown over here is P. First of all, solve for 1 plus I whole power n, send it to the other side by pressing divide equal and into A. So first of all, 1 plus I, 1 plus 6.5 percentage, press into how many years? 8 years means 7 times equal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Done. Now transpose it to the other side. Divide equal, divide equal, divide equal into what is A value? 75,000. That fetches you 45,317 and the nearest answer is 45,320. Let us check the calculation all over again. So what is 1 plus I? 1 plus 6.5%. Press into 8 years it is. His college expenses would begin in next 8 years. That means n is equal to 8. 8 means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times equal you have to press and then cross multiply. Cross multiply means basically we transpose it to the other side. Rather than dividing, we actually multiply by taking its reciprocal. Divide equal. Okay. Now divide equal and then multiply that with what? A. A is how much? 75,000. And the result is 45,317.33. The nearest answer is option A only. 35th question, difference between compound interest and simple interest on a certain sum of money for 2 years at 10% per annum is 10. So the difference for 2 years is given. The shortcut for to find the principal for 2-year difference is difference divided by I square. When the 3-year difference is given, 3 plus I will be in the denominator for 3-year difference. More than that, I have given you one more formula for that. So first of all, solve difference. Difference is how much? Oh, we need to, principal is be found and difference is 10 rupees. Type 10 divided by, I value is how much? 10% divided by 10%. Is it just I? No, I square again divided by 10%. So the result is 1000. Option C is the right answer. Have you all understood? There's one more question. A machine worth 4,90,740 is depreciated at 15% in its opening value each year. When its value would reduce to 2 lakh, it is 750 actually. There's a mistake in the value. It's 2 lakh, 2 lakh 750 approximate value, not just 2 lakh. So we need to see, it's a depreciation problem. Definitely the greater value is P, the smaller value is always A. All right. So A is equal to P into 1 minus I whole power n. All right. Now A and P both are known. Just divide A by P. A is 2 lakh 750 divided by 4 lakh 90,740 and the result is 0.4090. And 1 minus I, guys, 1 minus I value is 15%. 1 minus 15, press a percentage, you get 0.85 whole power n. Where is n, guys? It's an option, right? So 5 years, 6 months it is. Don't you think 6 months is 6 divided by 12 years? Plus 5, so that is 5.5 years. Let us hit 5.5 years in the calculator. Guys, you know how to raise the power when the power is decimal, all right? So type 0.85. Whenever a decimal power is there, type the value, press the square root 12 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0.85 first. Press the square root how many times? 12 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then do what? Minus 1. Then do what? Into power. Power is how much? 5.5. Then add 1. Then what you need to do? Press into equal 12 times. Keep left thumb on into button, right thumb on equal to button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that fetches you 0.4090 only. That means option A is the right answer. For those who are not familiar with this, please do the calculation once again. Please do the calculation once again. It is 0.85, power is decimal, so you have to press the square root 12 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then do what? Minus 1. Then into the power. Power is how much? 5.5. Then add 1. Then press into equal 12 times. Into on the left term with the left term and equal to with the right term. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that fetches you 0.4090. So option A is the right answer. Guys, I have almost covered all the varieties of questions. Even 38 question can be solved using that method only. A money which, in how many years a sum of money will become double? Guys, double means what? A is equal to what? 2p, uh, which is appreciation based, whole power n. It's as per CI only. Guys, PP will get cancelled, so 2 is equal to 1 plus 5% is 1 plus 5% is 1.05 whole power n. Now, where is n? N is in the options. Guys, always hit the moderate option in the calculator. Moderate option is one option above and two options below. If I hit 14.2, so what do I get? N is equal to 14.2. So type 1.05 in the calculator, press the square root 12 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then do minus 1. Then into power 14.2. Then add 1 plus 1. Then into equal how many times? 12 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So approximately you get 1.999, which is approximately 2. So 14.2 is the right answer. Have you all understood? Everybody clear? So we have seen almost all varieties of question. You see this question, the effective rate of interest does not depend upon amount of principal because there's no P in the formula. And P square is given, R is given. They're asking us to find P. Guys, what's the, it's a P square value given. What connects P? This is not P square actually. Pi square, sorry. There's a mistake in the question. It is Pi square is equal to 96 and R is 8%. Guys, don't get confused. R and I are one and the same. So what connects Pi and P? Basically, uh, P is equal to difference by I square. So they're not asking us to find, yeah, Pi square is nothing but what? Difference. Pi square is nothing but what? Difference. So it's 96 is equal to, uh, so P is equal to difference is 96 and I value is what? 8%, the whole square. So type 96 in the calculator, divided by 8, press a percentage, again divided by 8, press a percentage. You get 15,000. Guys, what connects Pi square and the difference? It is difference by I square formula. So Pi square value is given off. What is Pi square? You need not even use that formula, as Pi square is 96. What is that they're asking? P value. It is 96 divided by I square. So where is I? It's R only, 8%. So type 96 divided by 8, press a percentage, again divided by 8, press a percentage, you get 15,000. So option B is the right answer. Guys, we have covered almost all varieties of questions, right? One last question before we wind up. The present value of the scooter is 7290 and the depreciation rate is 10%. What was its value 3 years ago? It's 3 years ago, since it is a depreciating asset, 3 years ago, the value will be more than what is today, right? So greater value is always P. So P is what we need to find. It's a deceiving question actually. Present value, always take it as P. Yes, you will take it as P only when they ask After 3 years, what's the value? Then you would actually take this as P. But this is in the question, it is A. It's not P, because greater value they're asking us to find. So P value, A value is given off. So depreciation formula, P into 1 minus I whole power n. So A value I know. So what I don't know is P. So 1 minus I, you do 1 minus 10, press a percentage. It's 1 minus I got, and raise the power to 3. Press into 1, 2 times equal to, you have to press, divide equal to take it to the other side, into what is A? 7290. That fetches me 9999.99. That is nothing but 10,000. Yes. Guys, now that we have completed the target for day 4, if you have completed, please do type simple interest and compound interest in the comment box. Wishing you all the great success in the CA Foundation exams. Yashasvi Bhava. See you all in the next session. Till then, bye bye.